Hi, welcome to the presentation on simple and effective idea generation technique. Why it is important today? Today, we are in a very disruptive world where everything is very dynamic. In fact, the business environment is so complex, so uncertain because of disruptive technologies, disruptive business processes, and so on. So there is a disruption everywhere. So we need to constantly review the pain points of our customers, pain points of the internal processes to retain our customer and also to remain competitive. We need to encourage out-of-box thinking in the organization. That is, everyone in the organization has to participate in the idea generation process. We need to put in place a good idea generation system in the organization. The system should be simple, encourage everyone to participate, and help to discover simple but powerful ideas. So let us look into some of the very simple and effective idea generation techniques in this small presentation, which will definitely be useful to the organization as a going on concern. First is called the metaphor technique. It is the ability to link two different things by recognizing that some way they share a common principle. I will explain this concept through a simple example called the dialysis technique. Human kidney is one of the most efficient filters in the world. So when the human kidney is not functioning, obviously today we are going for a dialysis because the dialysis does the job of the kidney. So dialysis is one of the very effective filter designed to play the role similar to what kidney is doing. So on the other side, we have challenges to treat the wastewater in the industries, particularly with the existing RO technology. Even after 4 or 5 stages of RO processing, we find that we are not able to move beyond a particular point. So someone has come with an idea, why don't you take the idea of dialysis? So they came with a concept called nanofiltration, which is basically designed to address the issue of filtering the very difficult to filterable material. So the nanofiltration ensures 95% recovery of wastewater. That is actually a typical example for the metaphor technology. Similarly, we see the MIT at USA, they're actually trying to work on a project called artificial leaf project, because the leaf is supposed to be the best converter of solar power into energy, storable energy. So they're trying to understand the intricate way the leaf is functioning. So they're trying to create some solar panels on the life of the typical leaf. So this is actually called artificial leaf project. The second is called the brainstorming technique. Most of us will be knowing about this technique. It looks to be a very simple technique, but it's a very, very powerful technique. So this is actually a group creativity technique designed to create a large number of ideas for a solution to the problem. It is actually first popularized by a person called Alex Feckney in a book called Applied Imagination. So he is a person who really introduced the concept of this brainstorming technique. So a group of 10 people is ideal. Beyond that, we may not be able to control the group dynamics. And the duration is 1 hour you can think of, preferably in the morning. If you see today in many organizations, they try to have this brainstorming session either in the evening or in the afternoon, immediately after lunchtime and all that. But the best time to have this only in the morning, when we'll be able to capture some of the best ideas from the brains of the people. And objective is to have as many ideas as possible. So the purpose is to have the maximum number of ideas, and the wilder the idea, it is better. So don't go with a very related idea and all that. The more and more the wilder idea, it is always better. We can try to explore and find out. And criticism is ruled out, is one of the very important rules of the game. So you should not criticize somebody if he is going to come with a very wilder idea. And combining and improving the idea should be encouraged. In fact, if you see the organizations like 3M, who got more than about 65,000 products in their portfolio, and they use this technique very effectively to create more and more new products and all that. So it's a very, very effective technique. Then it is called forced relationship, next concept. So it's again a very easy technique involving joining of two totally different ideas to come with a fresh idea. I want to explain this concept through an example called solar powered bottle cooler. In fact, in northern India, during the summer months, there is a phenomenal demand for the soft drinks because of the summer month. At the same time, in many of the villages, electricity is not available. So the soft drink people are finding it very difficult to market their soft drink while power is not available. So solar powered bottle cooler is an excellent idea where you're combining a typical bottle cooler along the solar power plant. So the solar power is providing the required power to the bottle cooler. So we are able to produce, cool the bottle. So the soft drinks consumption is going up phenomenally thanks to the particular idea. Actually, the solution may not be strictly very unique, you may think, but it frequently results in an assortment of combinations that are often useful. So we are not talking about some very magical or very disruptive solution, but definitely it's a very workable, and that is actually addressing some pain points of the customers actually. A lot of products we see today are the output of forced relationships, such as your typical Swiss Army knife. You would have seen there are many useful small things are all packed in the typical Swiss Army knife. Similarly, the mobile phone. Mobile phone with a torch and calculator, just few example, but the number of items that can go into mobile phone is totally become unlimited. So it's anybody's imagination we can bring inside the mobile phone. Most of these ideas may not be revolutionary discoveries, but they are still advantageous products. So what is very important is that it has to address the pain points of the customer. So it need not be a very revolutionary product. Next is called again a very simple technique called checklist technique. So here the checklist helps to generate ideas in a very systematic manner, because the name checklist itself indicates it has to be very systematic. So once a problem is identified, the teams can use checklists to explore all areas and issues that are associated with the problem in a very systematic manner. And they help the team to think, and often in the form of questions. So let us try to see how exactly the checklist is operating through the next slide. First is, let us say, how exactly to put my product for other users. That is first way of you looking into the finding a new market for your product or whatever it is. One interesting example I want to bring here is railways have converted many old passenger coaches into car carriers, because they found there is a large movement of cars from one end of the country to another end of the country. Particularly, Maruti is moving a lot of cars through the road, which is quite expensive. So railways have come to the solution. Why don't you move the cars by railways? It is going to be very cost effective. So to immediately address to the problem, there are several old passenger coaches are available. So railways thought, why not convert these coaches into car carriers? So best checklist to this technique, we are able to find other uses for the product. Similarly, can we adapt the product? The dialysis example I already told you, it's a very interesting example. So the dialysis concept is being used for wastewater treatment effectively today all over the world. Can we modify the product? That's again a very important and interesting. An interesting example I want to tell you, what everyone is seeing today is that many of the ATMs are all getting converted into cash recycling machine. What do you mean by cash recycling machine? Today, in many of these ATM counters, we are not really having ATM, but only a cash recycling machine where it not only accepts cash but also dispenses cash. That means basically cash is recycling from one person to another place in a very cost-effective manner. And majority of the banks today are going for cash recycling machines only, not ATM. So only we are able to apply the concept of modifying the product, we are able to come with this particular solution. Can we magnify the product? So that is some of the key parameters, key attributes can be magnified. An interesting and very known example one can think of is the Amrudanjan. If you go and try to buy an Amrudanjan from a medical shop, he will ask you which Amrudanjan you would like to have. We have an yellow Amrudanjan, we have a green Amrudanjan, we have red Amrudanjan. So Amrudanjan normal, Amrudanjan strong, Amrudanjan Maha strong. So depending upon the one you are comfortable with, you can always ask for it. It's a big success for Amrudanjan to increase the product volume with a little amount of effort there. So product magnification again is again a very excellent idea one can get through the checklist concept. Then can we minimize the product? That is, how about having some portable or handleable product? In fact, portable fire extinguisher is a very classical idea, because many of the normal conventional fire extinguishers are quite heavy in nature. In case there is a fire inside the house, it is not possible for the housewives or anybody inside the house to even handle the fire extinguisher. It's quite complicated and all that. And so the portable fire extinguisher is a very classical idea through product miniaturization. Similarly, you are talking about the smaller refrigerator. In fact, Godrej has launched a smaller refrigerator and it is available only through online, not in a normal platform. Again, it is a very innovative product idea through product minimization. Can we substitute the product with different ingredients? Today, many organizations are trying to use this concept. Health drinks are a very classical case. They try to put different flavors. They'll put cardamom flavor, they'll put some banana flavor, they'll put some vanilla flavor. So health drinks are coming with different flavors. Same is case all your soaps. In fact, if you see Hindustan Liver, they're effectively using this concept to come with a different product variations. Can we rearrange the product? In fact, the Japanese are the people who are masters in this art, because in Japan the land space is very limited. So normally they use the same table, the bed, the sofas, everything all in one. So depending upon the way you fold it, you will be able to get it. Today, if you go to IKEA showroom, you will be able to see many such products available with you. Then we can think about, can we combine the product? So example I want to quote here is the Xerox cum scanner cum printer. In fact, HP is coming with a lot of products. It is quite useful for household purposes. So you can have in the single machine, you can do the Xerox copies, you can do the scanning, you can also take the printout. You need not to go outside again for small requirements and all that. Then, can we reverse the process or changing the movement and all that? So can we change the product? In fact, if you see the car air conditioner, a very typical case, same machine, can be used as an air conditioner as well as a heater, maybe during the winter months and all that. Similarly, if you see a typical vacuum cleaner, it can also be used like a blower. You can also use for cleaning your cars and all that. So by reversing the operations, you can do both basically. So next is called the suggestion scheme. Suggestion scheme again looks very simple, but it's a very, very powerful scheme. You'll be able to involve all the employees in the organization in a very effective manner, and you'll be able to get very effective solutions to your problem. Only thing, you have to start in a small manner. So start with a pilot scheme and identify all the innovative leaders in the organization. Limit the number of participants to small to begin with, so that you'll be able to control the whole thing. Then build confidence and trust in the process. That is very, very important. By considering topics that are very relevant to your organization, your employees or your customers, job performance, whatever it is, so that people are all very familiar with what you are basically talking through this particular suggestion scheme. Run the scheme for a set period of say 1 month to maintain the momentum, because we're going to keep it for a longer period. People may not give seriousness. They will also say we'll wait for some time and all that. So try to keep it compact so that it will generate a lot of momentum for the people to respond. Then set realistic expectations and be open to suggestions that support incremental innovation. People should not think that suggestion scheme is for all the very big ideas. You always encourage people to go for incremental improvements, so that everyone will try to come forward and try to give their idea. So the incremental improvement is one of the key aspect of this particular scheme. And involve an executive sponsor so that people again will take it very, very seriously. It's a very interesting one. So the moment when they feel that some senior executives are sponsoring the whole thing, a lot of people will jump into the fire. And create excitement, enthusiasm, and a sense of anticipation in advance. So the environment has to be quite charged. People should really get excited, and that is the important job of the HR people to do it. And extend, even if the idea is not approved, let people know that why the idea is not approved, and encourage them to come with a new idea. It's very, very important. That is because it need not be a very, very rigid system and all that. Whenever you find the idea is not acceptable, immediately tell them, like, ask them to come with a revised idea, a new idea, and whatever it is. In fact, Hindustan Motors in Chennai car plant were operating this scheme. The scheme was very effective. In fact, they used to give 10 rupees per idea. So people can just put idea in idea box, and after 15th of every month, lot of ideas used to come. So in fact, many people find it's a way of even generating some income and all that. But many good ideas Hindustan Motors are able to get, and the idea was a big runaway success. So don't try to underestimate the suggestion scheme, and the suggestion scheme also will be very effective. So I think many of the schemes we discussed here, they're all looking very simple, but they're all very effective. And if you with adequate top management commitment, with a lot of seriousness, you will be able to involve people's mind, and you'll be able to get excellent ideas. You'll be able to solve a lot of the problems of your customers, a lot of problems of your internal processes, and it's a great going. So thank you for the patient listening. I hope you really enjoyed this presentation. Hope it is useful to all the people who watch this program. Thank you.